Okay, sorry about that. Welcome to the March 10th, 2021 school board meeting. If we all please stand and face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We need to do a quick roll call before we start.
So scared. Roll call, please.
Mrs. DeCapua, President.
Here.
Mr. Atway, Vice President.
Here?
Mr. Campbell.
Here.
Mrs. Klucher.
Here.
Mr. Wilkerson.
Here.
Well, thank you all for coming tonight. Just wanted to make sure that anybody who intends on speaking has signed our book. Is there anybody out there who wishes to make public comment who has not signed the book? Are we good? Okay. Oh, you signed the book. You're good, Mr. McKeon. We're good. Okay. So on to our principals' reports. Let's see. Let's start with the high school.
Mike Moldavon, principal at Canfield High School. We just have a few updates on a few things that are going on. We're very excited that on March 18th, which is next week, I believe it is. Yeah, it'd be next week. We're excited to have a winter band concert here in the auditorium. We're having some people, guests will be able to come in, a limited number of guests, so we comply with all of the health orders through the Mahoney County Health Department and whatnot. But we're very excited about that, and we want to thank Mr. Knoll and the school board for allowing that to occur. On the next night, the 19th, as you know, we have a play that we're going to have this spring, and the drama department puts on what we call a showcase, and that'll be on the 19th. It'll be about the same, pretty much the same protocols as with the winter band concert. Speaking about the play, it's a musical that we're going to have. And it's the weekend of, it's the 29th, 30th, 1st, and 2nd. That would be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're very excited to give our drama kids an opportunity to perform. They missed out last year, so it's wonderful, just absolutely wonderful. Other things on the horizon, we have a date for a possible prom. We're waiting again. We made a proposal that we think might fit into the health orders and things like that, but we're waiting on that. But that is tentatively scheduled for May 8th, and it'll be modified. There's some modifications. I won't go into that now until we get the go-ahead to go ahead and do that, okay? But we do have on the horizon, hopefully, a prom situation for our kids. And again, it'll be modified somewhat to meet with the health orders and things like that. More information coming. The only other thing that's going on is our cafeteria is serving breakfast to our high school kids now, which we never had here. And it's interesting because with the government and with COVID, it's free. Like all the lunches are free, and this breakfast is free too. But high school kids, boy, if it's school starts at 7:45. 7:43, they're at that door. So it's a little tough to get down and get breakfast, but we're very thankful to Mrs. Hutchison and her cafeteria crew to offer our kids a breakfast. So, Mr. Shields, you want to talk about that?
Have we had many take advantage of that, the breakfast?
Do we have numbers on that, Mr. Moldavon?
I don't have exact numbers. I was down there today.
Have you guys taken
it was
advantage?
sparse.
Anybody out there?
Okay.
Raise your hand if you had breakfast.
I'm gonna guess there's 7:43.
You don't eat breakfast at school?
Yeah, my son can't make it on
Okay.
time enough.
Mr.
I know
Shields,
he
You can
Mr.
help
Shields
us out.
probably's had breakfast. He can speak to it. Right?
Dave, maybe you can help us out, get him here about 7:30. So.
I'll try.
I thought it was free. It's
Free.
for me.
Mr. Shields, you can speak about breakfast. Go ahead.
Free.
How was it?
Free. It's free for me.
That's
right.
right.
No, we're trying to encourage some to get down there. Like Mr. Moldavon said, they're getting in here and getting right to class because that bell. I'm stepping in class like ding ding. They're ready. So, a couple things for me. Rich Shields, assistant principal at Canfield High School. Mrs. Cusick, she works in our media center. She is facilitating a book club here at CHS called Project Lit Book Club. We have a few students in that: Abigail Thomas, Lily Nelson, Harjut Kaur, Simran Joshi, Julia Mosier and Chloe Campbell. Some of those are also CDA students that are in our book club. They were recently chosen by the Random House Children's Book newspaper to be part of a book review program, which is pretty neat. So basically what's going to happen is they're going to get a copy of this book. They are going to review the book, and because they are participating in this, our library is going to get a free copy of the book to enter into our library. So it's pretty exciting that way. Mr. Jennings and his journalism class, they will post the reviews of our students on the Cardinal newspaper, as well as he will add them into one of the episodes of the show. So that's pretty exciting. You know, there's nothing better than getting a book. So, you know, Mrs. Cusick is pretty excited about that, and we are too. Just also wanted to mention about the speech and debate team. Just finished the state tournament. Once again, they did a fantastic job. They finished 7th overall in the state tournament for speech and debate. This is the 11th top finish in the past 13 years for Canfield's speech and debate team. So, you know, it's just a tradition that continues to roll, and it's fantastic. I mean, Mr. Hamilton has them ready to go, and his crew, they get ready and they're excited. You know, and I don't want to neglect the fact that this year, if you obviously do remember, it's a virtual year. So these students have had all this success basically talking to a computer when they do this. They aren't in front of a live judge. They're, you know, in a room basically by themselves, you know, presenting to a computer screen that gets projected, and it's just amazing the success that they've had. There were 87 teams at the state tournament, 1,061 students. 29 Canfield students were represented out of 1,061. So, you know, just so much to be excited about. Vincent Machuga, I have a good time with him. I call him Vinnie Mac in the hallway. He finished 4th. We had also 3 others finish in the top 12 of their categories: Abigail Ambrose, Ashton Gingrich, and Bridget Feckety. So great job to the speech and debate team. And again, you know, Mr. Moldavon and I reiterate this all the time. We can't say enough. And board, I hope you really realize how hard our staff is working over here, because, you know, they're so professional in a time that is still difficult. You know, it's been tough. They're doing everything they can to do what, you know, Mr. Knoll encouraged us to do, to keep the doors open, and we've been that way for day one.
Thank you.
Thank
Can
you
I-
so much.
Can I ask a quick question of either one of you? So, first of all, thank you in regards to the March 18th and 19th with the band and the drama, because I know from a follow-up to last meeting, I'm sure a lot of the parents and the kids are excited about that. Your May 8th possible prom, because I know I will probably get additional questions. At what point do you think it could potentially be a definite? And then have we thought about a plan B if the May 8th possible can't happen, to potentially accommodate, you know, that milestone piece of maybe like a promenade or something of some sorts in a social distance capacity? I'm guessing senior parents are gonna want pictures of some sort to be able to have something, and if it could be a controlled environment at the school relative to outside, I just wondering if there's a plan B potentially in place, or if we could evaluate one.
Yeah, we've spent a lot of time recently, Mr. Atway, with trying to get this May 8th thing going. And truthfully, we have had discussions with some of the students about possibly doing something. But once we get an up or a down on this May 8th, then we do have another set. I don't want to comment right now exactly, but
Okay.
yeah, we're thinking about a lot of things. Okay.
Very good.
Our goal is to give the seniors, who last year didn't get a chance to attend the junior-senior prom as juniors, to give them that experience. We think that is ultimately important. But of course, we got to do it safely, and we got to make sure, as Mr. Shields said, as Mr. Knoll, I know, emphasized, our goal is to stay open the rest of the school year academically. So that's kind of where we're at. But yes, to answer your question, once we get an up or down on the 8th, then we'll move on from there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Village Middle School?
Good evening, I'm Judd Rubin, principal at Canfield Village Middle School. Just a few things. We still continue, and I have to give credit to a lot of the organizations that we've been working with too the past few years, like Power the Pen and what Math Counts, what I'm going to talk about. they've really put a lot of effort to it. It could have been real easy for them to say, well, we're just not going to do it because of COVID. But they really worked with our teachers and the organizations to at least offer all those things for our students. Even English Festival at YSU has been a go because of the efforts made by them. So we've been able to do math counts. Mrs. Wire, our 8th grade teachers, are coach for math counts, and the students work during their expressive arts times to practice math and do the competition. And we had Mia Gaffney and Amy Yu qualified to go to state for math counts, and they will do that virtually on March 25th. So quite a big accomplishment for our math team. Our 8th graders finished up scheduling for their freshman year last week, so we're getting the last few fragments of the schedules coming in. We're looking forward to, they're looking forward to coming up to the high school, and the guidance counselors that came down did a really nice job of answering a lot of questions, and they had videos that we were able to post for parents, so it was a really positive experience. We're really happy about that. One thing with anything that we try to do, we always try to do things right, and we've been working with our golf team since early December about getting a practice room for them, and so we've been able to create a golf simulator room in the back gym in the closet there, and it's come out really nice. They have turf, they have a putting green, and they just installed the simulators last week. I walked down there this afternoon because I saw some kids with their clubs. We have about 4 or 5 kids already down there. It's boys teams and the girls team both are able to take advantage of it. So just been a really positive thing. So if you ever have a chance to come in, come check it out. It's really neat.
You didn't see the superintendent in there playing, right?
Just during lunch.
yet.
He's only there during lunchtime.
That's right. I was supervising only, if anybody had any questions.
In their swing.
That's right.
Mrs. Reynolds, our school nurse, but she also moonlights as a drama coach and has been involved in the arts in the community. She started a Synergy of the Arts program for our students. We have about 30 students that have signed up for it, so she's meeting with them after school, and they do documentaries, they do speeches, they just do a variety of musicals, and so we're looking forward to putting that all together and sharing that with our students and families. Just to, again, go along with the theme of trying to keep things as normal as possible, we have talked about some of the end-of-the-year activities that we usually do, and we're still hoping to, I've been meeting with grade level teachers about trying to do something special for each grade. We are going to, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to be able to have our 5th grade orientation, so we're going to bring our 4th graders up in the middle of May. They'll be able to see the school. We're going to talk to them, answer their questions, and do that. 5th grade is you know, as you know, they've always gone to Camp Fitch. We're looking at a place in Campville called On Target that does like archery, fishing, a lot of outdoor activities. So we're engaging in talks with them about a possibility of taking our kids there. And we're going to do our 8th grade picnic, which has been a really nice tradition the past few years. And then looking at our student council students who work so hard in the year doing the food drives and so many civic-minded events. We always like to reward them with a student council field trip. We usually visit downtown, and we've met with the mayor. We've done the Butler Art Museum, but we're going to take them somewhere, but it'll probably be more of an outdoor type activity and a luncheon versus going inside buildings and things like that. So, but we appreciate your support on doing those things, and it's something our kids will look forward to. So thank you guys for everything.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Joe Maroney, Assistant Principal at the middle school and Director of the Digital Academy. We're entering testing season, like the in-person students are. Our CDA kids still have to take all the state test, the air test, and the course exams at the high school, AP exams at the high school. So we are gearing up for that. We'll be using our buildings. We'll be testing at the elementary at C.H. Campbell. Middle school, we'll use the front gym. And then we'll work with the high school again for our CDA kids to do the end of course exams and AP exams when those tests come along. We'll also be using the Campfield Library for our special needs kids and kids who need small group or accommodations. And I want to thank the Campfield Library for letting us use their facility. They're not really open to a lot of other groups, but they are letting us come in. We did air testing for 3rd grade. We did COGAT and Iowa testing for both 2nd and 4th grade. So we've used that facility quite a bit. And I want to publicly thank them for letting us go in there and use that. One of the main focuses that Mr. Knoll and I talked about several times this year was keeping our online kids connected to the in-person school and making sure they didn't lose touch with being in school. So a lot of the activities that you're hearing from Mr. Rubin, Mr. Flood, and Mr. Lavery about end-of-year events, we're going to include our CDA kids in as many of those as we can. We don't want them to lose connection. We know that 99% of them or more, if not all of them, will be back in person next year, and we want them to feel welcome and feel a part of the school. So 8th grade picnic, we'll invite our 8th graders. 4th grade usually has a picnic at the elementary school. We'll make sure those 4th graders get to come. Mr. Lavery and I talked about field days for our elementary kids, and we'd like to invite the CDA kids to participate in that. So whatever activities that we're going to put on for our in-person kids, we're going to open that up to our CDA kids. Centers of the Arts that Mrs. Reynolds is running, we have our kids involved in that also. So we've tried to keep those kids connected to their school throughout this year until they're able to come back to in-person. So it's been a good experience for them, I hope, so far this year. So thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Maroney.
Good evening. Mr. Flood, Principal of Hilltop. Just a couple things. I know Travis will go over other things. We're trying to do things the same. We're on the phone constantly discussing, so we keep both schools on the same page as we move forward throughout the year. Last week, getting back into the elementary theme, it's been 6 years, but get back to the Dr. Seuss week, and it was very interested, and just to see the different themes and what the kids were doing. I had the opportunity, Mrs. Cackley, our 4th grade teacher, she was so excited to have me come in there. I walked in the room, the kids studied a book, read the book, did a slideshow about the book, and then they went down to 1st grade and they presented the book, and it was outstanding. The kids enjoyed it. The 4th graders absolutely loved it. So it gave them some responsibility, and again, a fun week at Hilltop. Every month I try to give a shout out to someone, and I got to give it out to Officer Lampin, our SRO. I know when we worked at the middle school, he's mainly at the middle school, but we're trying to get him down to the elementary, and he has done an outstanding job, starting with our 4th grade. And I didn't put this on, but he is working with some of our students to make a smooth transition into next year as they go into 5th grade as a friendly face. And we're going to start that up with our guidance counselor. Also, he worked with our 3rd graders with seatbelt safety. And he started something new this week for the first time, and it was 4th grade internet safety. And his first one was today. And after he left, we kind of debriefed and just thought how we can improve this, not just this year, but going forward to the following years. End of the year, I have to talk with Travis a lot. He's given me great ideas, what they have done in the past, working with our staff and going to work with our PTA to make sure we make these kids to have a memory they'll never forget. We'll definitely keep safety protocols in place that need to, but we want to make memories and make sure that our 4th graders are sent off the right way. And last thing I want to say, again, Mr. Knoll, our staff, it meant so much with the Lunch and Learn. For what you did, took time out of your day. My staff was so happy, and they went, he took each grade level, he asked them questions, he listened to them, they suggested certain things, and it meant a lot. It meant that they had a voice, so I do appreciate that.
Thanks.
That's about it. Everyone have a wonderful evening.
Thanks, Mr. Flood. Much appreciated. Mr. Lavery?
Hi there, Travis Lavery, principal at C.H. Campbell Elementary School. We have a lot of things going on this month and moving in through April and the end of the year. First up, coming up on next Tuesday, we're going to be having a virtual kindergarten informational meeting. That's going to be there for all of our parents that have new incoming kindergartners that are going to be entering into Canfield local schools. Mr. Flood and I are going to be hosting that virtually, Parents will be able to submit questions, we'll be able to answer them live on the spot, and it'll also have a chance to be recorded so that any parents that miss it can continue to watch that moving forward as well. Kindergarten registration is then going to start off on April 12th. It's going to look a little different than in years past, where we're going to be having appointments where parents will come in with their materials and schedule the kids. And information about that will be shared during that meeting on March 16th. In addition to that, we've got some other fun stuff planned. Our Dr. Seuss Week was a huge success. Aside from all the wacky Wednesdays and all the crazy things the kids do, we top it off at the end of the week with a random act of kindness day where the kids get to do something nice for somebody else. And it was amazing to see all the wonderful things that the kids handed off. We had kindness cards that were hand-delivered to various people. My personal favorite was to Mr. Williamson. It said, "I'm sorry that I know the internet's not great, but thank you for what you do for us." So that was their kindness act. But regardless, it was still a wonderful day and a great opportunity for those kids. In addition to that, we're going to be having Beach Day on April 1st. This is a great opportunity for the kids to have a little bit of fun. We have some beach-themed games that they'll be playing during recess, as well as a nice little treat that our PTA will be providing to them. And we also were able to do homeroom pictures, not just for our in-person students, but also for our Cardinal Digital Academy students today as well. And it was great seeing some of those faces that we haven't seen for quite some time coming into the building. So that was definitely a fun experience today. In addition to that, coming up for the end of the year, we are going to be having the 4th grade picnic and memory video as we've done in the past. We're going to be having our field days. They're going to look a little bit different this year. I believe we're going to be traveling up to the high school stadium and holding them up there. This is also going to be an opportunity where we could have parents come and be spectators up in the stands. After all the ways that they've supported us throughout all of this year with the parties and with everything else, it's going to be nice to have them involved in an activity and coming in and being a part of it as opposed to just helping blindly from home. So very excited about that. As well as we're going to be having some end-of-year parties at the end of the year for all grade levels as well. The last thing that I just wanted to touch on briefly is that we were the recipients of a grant for kindergarten and 1st grade through the Mahoning County Educational Service Center. And we brought in some robots for the kids in those grade levels. And we have a few teachers that are implementing those. I got a chance to spend some time down there with them today. And it's pretty amazing to watch our kindergarten students coding robots and programming them to do various tasks. Definitely a lot of fun, and the teachers that are involved in it right now are definitely all in, and they're just excited about the conversations that those kids have while they're figuring these things out. Very impressive, very fun to see, and a nice precursor to some of the things we're going to be doing for STEAM education next year at the elementary level. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Lavery, much appreciated.
Quick question, and it's for anyone. So are we, the nice weather kind of triggered in my head that are we gonna have the kids back outside for classes? And, I mean, we had, in the fall, we had the tents at the middle school. I mean, are we gonna try and do that?
Several teachers took their classes outside, enjoyed the weather. We also had a fire drill, which everybody enjoyed.
Oh, well,
That's good.
always exciting.
Good
yeah.
day for a drill.
Today was definitely one of the first days that I saw a lot of people going back to getting outside, holding some classes outside, utilizing the courtyards inside the middle of the building, some safe spaces where they could go outside and do some learning activities out there. So yeah, we're definitely planning on getting kids out as much as possible and making sure we keep those windows open to keep that airflow through the building. So
There you go.
Are we gonna do that 10 at the middle school?
It was pretty costly, so
Are you willing to donate the tent?
Mr. Wilkinson said he'd make a donation to the cause. We'll get him later.
But we had the same thing. I noticed that kids were reading under trees today and doing some classes, and then we've always continued with recess throughout the year, all year long, and so today they were out there having a great time with recess. So it's something we can maybe look into. But we also had those picnic tables that we don't have right now, and that was really nice. We had the big table underneath the fence.
We might know a guy in the audience that could help me with that. We'll circle back.
Thank you all for your information. Greatly appreciated. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Moving on to the presentation of minutes, we all get copies of the minutes ahead of time. We read through, make any additions, corrections, so that we do not have to do it at this meeting. So at this time, I would like to have a motion for the presentation of the February 10th, 2021 regular meeting minutes to accept or approve.
So moved, Wilkerson.
Campbell seconds. Or Campbell, whoever.
Roll call, please.
I'll let
Mr.
Campbell.
Atway?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. Cloutier?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkerson?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes. At this time, I will turn over the reins to Ms. Prince to go over the financials.
Thank you. The cash summary report, I'd just like to comment on the food service fund, which is the fourth fund down. We are making some small gains. We are up to a fund balance of $70,000 at the end of February due to the free lunch program. And we did have money budgeted to transfer out of general fund to the cafeteria fund, and I'm hoping we may not need to do that. Time will tell here in the next couple months, but, so that's looking up. The appropriation summary report, and we are now 8 months through the year, which is 67%, and you'll notice the total at the bottom. We have spent and encumbered 64%. We're on track with the budget at this point. I don't see any problems there. On the check payment register, I wanted to comment on the last page. You'll see about 10, 15 items down, there's 2 BWC for workers' comp. One of those is just our monthly payment, and then the other one is the annual true-up that's required each year. It's due February 15th to reconcile the previous year's payments with your actual payroll. So that's why you see 2 there. And just a note, this is on every month, but about 3/4 of the way down the large Mahoning County School, on the second line, it would say Employee Insurance Consortium. That's our monthly insurance payment, $317,000. So that's a very costly item out of the budget on the benefit side. And then the outstanding purchase orders, the new items start on page 14. And then on page 18 and 19, I wanted to point out, you'll see several Boak & Sons. We are having, with the winter thaw, roof leaks that on our flat roofs that need taken care of. So they've been called out to look at, I believe they're looking at all 4 buildings and doing work on all 4 buildings. So you'll see several of those requisitions. And then the investment report, there's really no change from the previous month, the same investments, same rates, kind of holding steady there. So does anybody have any questions on any of the reports? Not, we need a motion to approve them, please.
So moved, Kluchar.
Second, Wilkerson.
Roll call?
Mr. Atway?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. Cloutier?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkerson?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
And Mr. Makia?
Good evening. I'm Frank Makia. After our success with Black History Month, tonight I was going to suggest that we continue such programs, and I see we are with Women's History Month. These monthly programs could be a real benefit to the students in regard to different ethnic groups and different racial groups. So we could perhaps continue. You can have an Asian History Month, you can have Hispanic History Month, and don't forget, about 90% of us people here in Canfield have European roots. Why not a month saying the the history of European peoples here in America. And of course, let's not forget the Jewish people. Jewish History Month would really be interesting. So these types of programs, in my opinion, can really benefit our students and give them a broader perspective on peoples and issues that are in the world today. So I would encourage the school board to continue these type of programs. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Makia.
Thank you. Can I just make one comment, Mr. Makia? I just want to say I enjoyed the article that they did on you for your hobby, which I thought was highly impressive. So stained
Yes,
glass
that's
was very
excellent.
impressive. So nice there.
Wait, I didn't hear about
Tours
this.
are $5. One more, can I get free golf lessons also?
Come see the superintendent. Take care.
All right,
All set?
is that it? Yep. Okay, on to new business. Mr.
Okay, so we'll do some personnel. I'd like to recommend motion to accept the resignation of Chelsea Moransky as the middle school intervention specialist effective June the 4th. That's in Exhibit 1A. Also, a classified resignation, Elizabeth Ross, bus driver, effective March 26 to 21. That's Exhibit 2A. Also, to approve the classified sub pending their background checks, those individuals as presented. And then finally, under personnel, recommend a motion to hire all the extracurricular folks mentioned in Exhibit number 4.
May I have a motion, as recommended by our superintendent, to accept the following personnel, A, B, C, and D: resignation of Chelsea Moransky, resignation of Elizabeth Ross, approve our classifieds, and hiring of our extracurriculars.
Atway so moves.
Campbell seconds.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Atway?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. Klucher?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkerson?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Also like to recommend motion to approve a request for summer school, which are Exhibit 5A and 5B, the middle school, June the 7th through the 30th, and at C.H. Campbell and Hilltop, July 26th to August the 5th.
As recommended by our superintendent, may I have a motion to approve the request for summer schools for C.H. Campbell, Hilltop, and CVMS?
So moved, Wilkerson.
Atway seconds.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Atway?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. Klucher?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkerson?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
And I'd like to make a motion to approve the Success by Six summer program, which will be held at Hilltop Elementary School. That's Exhibit number 6.
As recommended by our superintendent, may I have a motion to approve the Success by Six summer program at Hilltop Elementary School?
Campbell so moves.
Kluchar, second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Atway?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. Klucher?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkerson?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Our policy committee met recently to go over another set of policies that are to be presented tonight. I don't know if either one of the ladies wanted to comment briefly on any of the policies?
Honestly, Mr. Knoll, we'll let you take that as you did, as
Okay.
we did go over them.
Sure. Just a couple quick things. The first batch of 11 all have to do with non-discrimination, anti-harassment policies. When there's one change in the law, it affects a lot of policies, and this is a good example. Basically, what happened here is we needed to list our compliance officers for some Title IX requirements, and that's our Director of Special Services and the Treasurer will be assisting in that endeavor. The other policies, to be honest with you, are all just revisions. Nothing specific really to bring out unless any of the board members had any specific questions on any of those policies.
A lot of these policies was verbiage that was just changed, that had to be changed throughout.
Okay, so make a recommendation to approve the first reading of those policies in Exhibit number 7.
So moved, Kluchar.
Campbell seconds.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Atway?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. Klucher?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkerson?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
And under number 5, I'd like to make a motion to adopt the resolution accepting the amounts and rates, resolution number 54, which was Exhibit number 8.
As recommended by our superintendent, may I have a motion to adopt our amounts and rates resolution?
So moved, Wilkerson.
Second Atway.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Atway?
Yes?
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. Cloutier?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkerson?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
And motion to approve our donations that are enclosed in exhibit number 9. If I turn that over to the treasurer, she can.
Is there anything, Patty, that you wanted to go over regarding the donations?
Just the total cash donations for the month, $1,070.90. We did have a $1,000 donation to the Hilltop Outdoor Classroom from James DeRosa, and Ohio Powell Prince, $70.90 to CHS Principals Fund. And then Ohio Ceramics donated glazes and molds for the art department for the ceramics 1 and 2 classes. So,
And as always, we appreciate all the donations that we do receive throughout the district. At this time, may I have a motion to accept the donations as enclosed?
So
Cam-
moved.
Campbell seconds.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Atway?
Yes?
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. Cloutier?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkerson?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
And I'd like to make a motion to approve the service agreement for the Mahoning County High School, which is exhibit number 10.
As recommended by our superintendent, may I have a motion to approve the service agreement for Mahoning County High School?
So moved. Atway?
Second, Wilkerson.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Atway?
Yes?
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. Cloutier?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkerson?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
And we'd like a motion to approve the MOU with the Teamsters Local Number 377, which is exhibit number 11.
As recommended by our superintendent, a motion to approve the MOU with our Teamsters, local number 377.
Campbell so moves.
Kluchar, second.
Roll call?
Mr. Atway?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. Cloutier?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkerson?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Okay, so just a few things to touch on. You heard a lot of good information from the principals tonight. I was glad to get the blessing from our health department, and our band was going to lead us off here with our first activity with in-person, so we're in the good hands of Mr. Kelly. He did a fantastic job of following the protocols, which I approved and then passed on to the health department. So looking forward to the band, the drama, and the musical here in the near future. You heard about our kindergarten information virtual night coming up next week. I will be the guest speaker next Friday, March the 19th, at the Rotary. And I am a fellow Rotarian, if you didn't know that, so I'm looking forward to getting connected to the Canfield Rotary, and I might say a few good things about Canfield while I'm there. So, since
That would help.
I'm a little biased, but I'm sure that's going to be a good group, good activity. Believe it or not, Friday, March 26th ends the third 9 weeks. And as our principal said, I look forward every day to getting in my car and making that drive to in-person learning here in Canfield. So that'll be the end of the third 9 weeks, the end of March. And then, believe it or not, we got this thing called spring break, okay, from April 2nd to April 9th. Now, I should probably know this, but what do we do in Canfield for spring break?
Siesta Key.
We go where?
The key, but we're going to Disney World.
We go out on the green. Now, that would be awesome. Social distance, stay on the green, mask up, that'd be great. Now,
City Council just voted that in,
is that right? That's
Right.
good, okay.
right, Bruce? Yeah.
Now, what's the Siesta Key thing? We don't,
I don't know anything about
we don't know anything about that.
I don't know.
Well, don't tell my wife that, because that's one of her favorite places to go as well.
Are we gonna do like Youngstown State and just encourage wellness?
Yeah, so I'm gonna make that known right now. I'm gonna encourage good behavior and wellness in our normal protocol, right? Masking up, good hand washing, social distancing, and get back, I think it's April the 12th, maybe on that Monday, and continue with in-person learning. Okay, so that's my goal. I don't worry, okay? I don't worry about that, but I'm concerned still concerned as superintendent. But this community, the staff, and these students haven't let me down yet, and that's what I'm banking on. So enjoy your time. I hope you guys read my Tuesdays with Mr. Knoll that goes out. I'm telling you, the principals talk, this is the biggest one I've had since I've been here. I mean, there are so many awesome things going on in this district. And what's getting cool are the parents at home are sending me things about what's going on outside of school, which is really good. You know, you're hearing about 3rd and 5th grade basketball. You know, some really awesome things are going on. And, you know, with all the craziness in my world, it's good for me just to sit down and spend time writing about positive things going on in this district. And there's a lot of them. Just a couple things. We had a real good swimming year. They did a great job at the state. They had 24th place. Connor got an 8th place finish in the 100. And then we got a wrestler going to state this weekend. So we want to wish Ty good luck as he's down there in the state wrestling as well, and just all the great things going on. It's a lot of fun for me, and I know our community enjoys it. So, sir, to get to your comment about how good things to keep doing things every month. Next month is one of my favorite months of the year. It's the month of April.
That's my birthday.
That's my birthday.
Other than the board president and the vice president's birthday,
Yes.
which are very important, it's Autism Awareness Month, which, thank you, Ms. Klutcher. I appreciate that. As you know, that's near and dear to my heart.
And
So,
mine.
we're gonna go with that theme, okay? We're gonna go with that theme. In fact, the next board meeting, we're gonna light it up blue, okay? So we're all gonna wear our blue as board members and principals and so forth, all right? It'll be a proclaimed day across the district for our staff and students to wear blue. And we're not only going to talk about autism, but we're going to focus in on all of our kids with special abilities. I'm going to invite Mr. Vitter to our meeting and kind of do what our principals do every board meeting. I'm going to ask him to come and just share some of the great things that we're doing with our kids and families with special abilities. So that will be next month, the month of April. So that's all I have for tonight.
I wanted to just give a shout out to, I know our AP government students are here. Some of them are with us this evening. Is that correct?
Nice to see you all.
Yeah.
Good to see you guys. Thank you for coming. This is so exciting, right? Yeah, I know. Thanks for
forget
that
we gotta
vote of confidence
sign.
there.
Don't forget
Well,
you
it's
gotta get
nice to
signatures.
have you.
Sign the guest book, yeah.
Does anybody have any questions, since you're out there and we're up here? Really?
Not a single.
You explained it that well, Mrs. DeCapua.
Okay, okay, well,
I think the question on their mind is, when is this thing over?
yes, you know what, I'm getting to that, Okay, well, it's very nice to have you, thank you for coming. On that note, anything else that anybody would like to interject at this time before we head into executive session? Anyone? Okay. So at this time, we will be going into executive session for the purpose of holding a conference with our attorney to consider compensation for an employee. So, letting you all know that I can't give you a time on when we will be back. If you would like to leave, that's fine. At the turnout, when we come back, we probably will have no new information for you, to be quite honest. So we will probably just come back and then adjourn. So with that, we will be heading into.
I'll make that motion. for
Thank you.
Executive session to.
And I'll second it.
Do we need a roll call?
Mr. Atway?
Yes?
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. Klucher?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkerson?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes. righty. We are back, and at this time, we have no new information. We are going to adjourn. May I have a motion to adjourn, please?
Atway so moves.
Kluchar, second.
Roll call, please.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Oh, the treasure. She gets you every time on that, don't she?
Thank you. Everybody have a good night.